Beijing, China, September 23, 2025. China has pledged to continue deepening its relationship with Vanuatu following recent reports that Beijing is set to donate more than $400,000 worth of police equipment to the South Pacific nation. During a regular press briefing held at the Chinese Foreign Ministry in Beijing, ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun addressed questions from journalists regarding Beijing's role in Vanuatu and the significance of the reported donation. His comments come at a time when China's growing presence in the Pacific region has drawn attention from regional players and global observers alike. As cameras rolled and reporters waited for the briefing to begin, Guo walked to the podium and responded to questions with his characteristic calmness. The discussion quickly turned toward Vanuatu and the nature of China's involvement in the Pacific Island state. When asked about reports of a $400,000 police gear donation, Guo reiterated Beijing's commitment to Vanuatu, but avoided confirming specific details of the transaction. Instead, he emphasized the guiding principles of China's cooperation with the island nation. Guo Jiakun said, "China's cooperation with Vanuatu is built on mutual respect, equal consultation, mutual benefit, as well as openness and inclusiveness. China will continue, in line with Vanuatu's wishes and needs, to provide support within its capacity and to strengthen friendly exchanges and cooperation across various fields, bringing benefits to both countries and their peoples. Regarding the specific issue you mentioned, I suggest you consult the relevant Chinese authorities." This statement underscores Beijing's approach to framing its foreign engagements, placing emphasis on equality, mutual respect, and shared development rather than transactional diplomacy. Earlier this week, Vanuatu's Interior Minister publicly announced that Beijing had agreed to supply over $400,000 worth of police equipment to the country's law enforcement forces. The support, according to officials in Port Vila, is aimed at boosting the capacity of local police in maintaining security and responding to public safety needs. While details of the equipment remain limited, the announcement has drawn attention because of the broader context in which it comes. Pacific Island nations, many of which maintain close ties with Australia and New Zealand, have in recent years been increasingly courted by China through infrastructure projects, development aid and diplomatic support. The news of police gear assistance comes on the heels of similar moves in other Pacific states, where Beijing has provided security-related support as part of its wider strategic engagement in the region. This has fueled debate among analysts over whether such assistance reflects benign development cooperation or signals China's attempt to expand its security footprint in areas traditionally influenced by Western powers. Throughout his remarks, Guo refrained from addressing the specifics of the donation, pointing journalists instead toward relevant Chinese authorities. Yet the choice of words in his broader statement highlights how Beijing seeks to characterize its relationship with smaller nations. By stressing mutual respect and equal consultation, Guo was keen to project an image of partnership rather than dominance, an important message given sensitivities among Pacific Island countries about external influence. Beijing's emphasis on openness and inclusiveness also reflects its broader diplomatic narrative, portraying China as a supporter of development that does not impose political conditions. This stands in contrast to the criticism often raised by Western governments who have accused Beijing of using aid and loans as leverage to expand its influence. For Vanuatu, a nation of just over 300,000 people spread across more than 80 islands, external support is critical for maintaining public services and security infrastructure. The donation of police equipment, if confirmed, would represent a substantial contribution to its domestic security capabilities. The Interior Minister's announcement suggests that Port Vila values its relationship with Beijing not only for economic assistance, but also for practical support in law enforcement and governance. China, on the other hand, gains by reinforcing its image as a reliable partner and development supporter, while subtly expanding its network of cooperation in a strategically important region of the Pacific. The Pacific Islands have increasingly become a stage for competition between major powers. Australia and New Zealand, long considered the traditional partners for the region, have stepped up their aid and diplomatic engagement in response to China's growing involvement. For Washington, Beijing's moves in the Pacific are closely watched as part of the broader strategic competition unfolding across the Indo-Pacific. US officials have expressed concerns that China's provision of police or security-related support could eventually lead to a greater Chinese security presence in the region, something that could reshape regional dynamics. Against this backdrop, even seemingly routine gestures, such as the donation of police gear, carry political weight. They are seen not only as acts of goodwill, but also as potential indicators of China's long-term ambitions. What stood out in Guo Jiakun's remarks was the careful adherence to China's consistent diplomatic messaging. By anchoring his response around principles rather than specifics, Guo reinforced the idea that Beijing's partnerships are not about one-off donations, but about a sustained commitment built on trust and respect. Guo Jiakun said, China will continue, in line with Vanuatu's wishes and needs, to provide support within its capacity and to strengthen friendly exchanges and cooperation across various fields, bringing benefits to both countries and their peoples. This emphasis reflects China's broader global strategy, portraying itself as a partner that listens to the needs of other countries rather than dictating terms. For Vanuatu, the challenge lies in balancing relationships. While Beijing offers generous support, Port Vila also maintains strong ties with Australia, New Zealand, and other Pacific partners. The government must navigate these partnerships carefully to avoid being caught in geopolitical tensions. At the same time, Vanuatu has made it clear that it welcomes assistance from any partner willing to respect its sovereignty and development goals. In this sense, China's approach of openness and inclusiveness resonates with the country's desire to diversify its sources of support. China's engagement in the Pacific has expanded significantly over the past 2 decades, from building roads, schools, and stadiums to offering concessional loans and scholarships. Beijing has sought to cement its role as a partner in development. Security assistance, such as police training and equipment, has been a more recent dimension of this engagement. In some cases, it has raised concerns among regional powers about the possibility of military cooperation or even permanent bases. While Beijing has repeatedly denied such intentions, stressing its commitment to peaceful development, its growing footprint has nonetheless altered the geopolitical landscape of the Pacific. China's latest pledge of support to Vanuatu, coupled with reports of a $400,000 police equipment donation, reflects both the opportunities and the complexities of Beijing's role in the Pacific. On one hand, the support addresses genuine needs in Vanuatu, providing resources that the country might otherwise struggle to secure. On the other, it raises questions among regional and global observers about the strategic implications of China's expanding influence. At the heart of the issue lies the messaging from Beijing, a focus on partnership, mutual respect, and inclusiveness. As Guo Jiakun put it during his briefing, China's cooperation with Vanuatu is built on mutual respect, equal consultation, mutual benefit, as well as openness and inclusiveness. Whether viewed as a generous act of friendship or a calculated step in geopolitical maneuvering, the pledge symbolizes the growing significance of China's ties with Pacific Island nations, relationships that are likely to shape the region's future in profound ways.